Prevence Podcast.
Okay, so hello everyone, and welcome to another Prevence Podcast, the podcast where we interview business and legal professionals before the backdrop of digitization and connectivity. Today is a very special episode for me. First of all, we have a different format. We are recording this remotely because the lawyer and entrepreneur that we are interviewing today, her name is Anna Mork. Hey Anna, how's it going?
Hi, I'm doing fine. Thanks.
Great. So as I said, we're going to interview this. We're going to do this interview remotely. And this is also a special episode because you, Anna, you are not specialized in one single area, but in several different areas, and you have now founded and published the first edition of The Legal Layman. So tell us a little bit about that. How have the past few weeks or the past few months been for you?
The last few weeks and months happened pretty much, yeah. First of all, we planned and launched our very first edition of Legal Layman, a law magazine for non-lawyers, and since then I'm hardcore networking, replying to tons of messages, planning new projects, finishing old ones, and so many other things.
Sounds great. I'm just gonna hook in right into The Legal Layman. Can you tell us a little bit about what is up? What is the idea behind The Legal Layman? How did you come up with the idea? Are you alone in this project? Who's your team? And most importantly, of course, what is the vision? Or what is the goal? What you guys want to achieve?
Wow, so many questions at once, yeah? Okay, let's start somewhere. Legal Layman is, as I already said, a law magazine for non-lawyers in which we explain legal subjects and the latest legal issues in a way that people without legal background are able to understand. Since law is literally everywhere and affects everybody, knowledge about your simplest rights and obligations shouldn't be a nice to have, it's a must have. So the vision behind Legal Layman is to create an access to law for everybody and to educate more. And okay, well, I came up with the idea as I was again reading any Corona bullshit comments in social media. Yeah, and everybody somehow transformed into some kind of hobby lawyer, and that really grinds my gears. And to calm myself down, I started to clean my apartment. And yeah, that's what I always do to calm myself down. And I was vacuuming my floor as the idea of creating a medium to even explain latest legal issues hit me out of nowhere. As I started to do a bit of research, and I was shocked not to find any existing concepts like that. And in this moment, I just thought, well, okay, shit, then you have to do it. Yeah.
You have to, yeah.
And a few minutes later, I told Justin Völkel about that. Justin Völkel is also a business lawyer like me, and we got to know each other during our master's degree. And first thing he said was, Legal Layman, this sounds like potential. Yeah, I'm in.
Perfect.
This same evening, I called Lena Krawiec, co-founder and managing partner at This Is Legal Design. And she got all excited as well and said, let's do it. So in only one day, I had the idea, the name, and a team. Yeah, awesome, isn't it?
Well, considering that it takes my friends and me 5 business days to decide where to go eat for lunch, definitely, yeah, that is awesome and extremely fast. I have another follow-up question though. You said that you came up with the idea while you were vacuum cleaning. Is that something you do? Is that how you relax?
Yeah, that's actually some kind of relaxing for me. I have to kind of just only work mentally, and some physical work is calming myself down somehow.
Oh, wow.
I don't know.
Yeah. But on the one, on the one, I can completely understand. But then again, you're being a productive person even when you're relaxing. So I'm not really sure. Does that make me like you more or like you less?
But I hate
sounds
cooking.
Great.
Yeah, I love cleaning, but I hate cooking. So I'm not that productive at all.
Yeah, okay. See, that's the thing. I'm kind of a cooking guy. I do most of the cooking around the house, which my girlfriend is very happy about.
Yeah,
but yeah, good to know.
I can imagine.
Yeah. So let me just say from the outset, Anna, I completely agree with everything you have to say, right? But I'm just, for the sake of argument, I'm going to assume a contrary position, a position contrary to your own. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
So here's a position. Hey, Anna, I don't think that the legal layman is such a good idea because lawyers and law students have spent literally hours, years in the library studying the most complex subjects. I remember from my own experience, I was once studying for Anglo-American contract law, reading a case from, I think it was the Supreme Court in the US, right? It was like 69, you know those, right?
Okay,
69 pages of English that is completely complicated. It's hardly understand, even as a native mother tongue, you're like, what the hell are they saying?
Yeah.
And then you arrive at page 68, and then there's just one sentence. It goes, Justice Scalia dissenting. And then it's like, oh my, another 40 pages. You know, it's like Justice Scalia going like, bro, you had a weekend planned? I'm sorry, that's not happening. And that's literally what we do for years to get to the point that we have this point of knowledge, and then we think to ourselves, okay, but now this person is coming along who's going to give all that knowledge away for free in an English or in a German that everybody understands. So why do you do that?
Okay, well, first of all, I'm pretty allergic to this kind of mentality, yeah? I mean, where would this world be if nobody had ever shared some knowledge? I mean, watching documentaries about physics doesn't make you a physician. And just because you teach people about their basic rights, obligations, or share information about legal backgrounds in a magazine, it won't turn those people into lawyers. And lawyers have actually no entitlement to keep this knowledge for themselves. Laws aren't only made for lawyers, yeah? If you breach the law, you will have to face the consequences, no matter who you are or what you've studied. So it's inevitably necessary to educate people on that. And by the way, whoever thinks that sharing knowledge with laymen could cost them their jobs or could make them lose clients doesn't understand law at all and shouldn't actually be working as a lawyer. I mean, there is a reason why we have to study so long and so hard, yeah? If that could be compensated by a few magazines or workshops, we all would have wasted years of our lives in law school.
True.
And in fact, educating non-lawyers should lead to even more clients and more work, because only if you know how things should actually work out, you can detect when they don't and when it's time to hire a lawyer.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm going to just stop assuming this contrary position and see on what grounds I could win.
Thank
but
you.
I'm gonna give a shout out to the listeners. If you find this podcast on a platform where you have a comment section, for example on YouTube, we'd be very interested to hear your position. If you would think, yes, we should definitely put an effort into disseminating the law, also for people that don't have anything to do with it for work, or if we should keep that knowledge to ourselves for whatever reason. I won't be taking part in that discussion, but maybe Anna will. So you're gonna have hard contestants. So can I just go into a little bit more detail concerning the legal layman? I read your first edition, and I think it is great, especially your column in the middle.
I've
already told you, right?
Thank you.
I've heard. Wait, can you say? Did the internet connection go down? Can you say something? Hello.
Hello.
Okay, good. Okay.
Hello.
Okay, now I'm hearing you again. Yeah, I think that must be the most used business phrase of 2020.
Yeah.
Can you still hear me? Am I on mute? What's going on? Okay, I just thought one of us went on mute. No. So yeah, going into the topics of the legal layman.
Yeah.
First of all, how do you choose them, and how do you find the people that write them for you?
It depends what subjects we choose. Yeah, we try to offer a mix of general and latest issues. We've also started some surveys with non-lawyers, for example, in Instagram, where they could vote for subjects they're interested in, and I think that's a pretty cool and effective way, because that's how we can include and represent our readership's interests properly. Yeah, and at the beginning we had to contact potential authors, but meanwhile they ask us, if they could if they could write an article or something, and nobody ever had expected this, so that's some kind of really surprising for us.
So, talking about reaching out to people, I've had a couple of talks with, I think I started out with Madeleine Heutz, where we were talking about reaching out to potential clients or customers over social media, specifically over TikTok. What do you think of that? Are you and the Legal Layman on TikTok? Are you involved in that?
I had my first TikTok debut, I think 3 days ago. Yeah, I think meanwhile it's some kind of obligatory things you just have to do. But it's actually so much work, and I honor everybody who's active on TikTok, really.
So you told me in your LinkedIn chat that you do more than just the Legal Layman, right?
Yeah.
You're involved, and we already spoke about it in the first in the introduction. What other projects are you involved in?
At the moment, I'm mainly involved in projects where I have to simplify law or optimize legal services for non-lawyers. Furthermore, I do a lot of workshops and trainings, for example, in fields like compliance, European business law, or medical law. Currently, mostly via Zoom, and that really causes me a pain in my heart, because I prefer working face to face with people. Yeah, it makes so much difference if you speak into a camera, if you can interact with people personally. But I have to I have to train myself in patience there. Yeah, and as I've already told you, we're working on some plans concerning Legal Layman, and that is so super exciting. And I would love to tell you everything about that, but unfortunately, I just can't. Yeah, Jessin would kill me. And I'm definitely not a patience person.
That's a very nice cliffhanger to leave us with there. Yeah. So, but another reason to invite you guys again, then maybe possibly in person and not over Zoom, and then we can do another awesome interview. So, regarding this, hold on, one question.
Okay.
So, is it just me? I saw it on Friday. I was just going through my LinkedIn, right? And is it just me, or has my LinkedIn feed been taken over by female entrepreneurs with a legal background? Like, did you ladies plan this takeover? Like, are you the guys behind 2020 and everybody is giving Bill Gates shit for nothing? Is that what's going on?
Okay. I love and appreciate that question, yeah? So, first of all, yes. Yes, we totally planned it. And now that we're busted, you may call us In-Law-Minati, from now on. Thanks.
I think that In-Law-Minati must have been like the best, hands down, best wordplay I've heard this year. And people have had a lot of time to sit at home and think of words.
Yeah, I'm also pretty proud of that one, yeah.
Can you also tell us a little bit more about the In-Law-Minatis? Like, who, can you do some name dropping? Who's part of this huge conspiracy?
Okay, part of this conspiracy is Lina Krawietz, Alicia Andert, Sina Dörr, Abir Harat, and many more. Yeah, many more. We're all part of that.
I'm going to throw a name in to represent my city. I'm going to throw in Madeleine Heutz. I hear you have a lot to do with her as well, right? Or you know her at least.
Yeah, I know Madeleine, yeah.
Yeah. Fun story. She was the first person. She was the first person on a podcast, actually, and naturally, I was nervous to do my first podcast. I'd never done a format like this before. I'd only been writing, although I'm doing research in a little back room, kind of like And this is the first time I'm doing a podcast. So we go to Madeleine's office in the Okandada, and she comes in. Of course, she was experienced at the time. I think she had already done 50 podcasts.
Yeah.
And what she did was basically carry me through my own podcast. Asking herself questions. I'm just sitting there like, how's she doing that? Like,
I can imagine
Madeleine,
that.
Madeleine, if you're listening to this, big shout out and thank you for that. And I hope that you and the crew at Raketenstart will be able to, no pun intended, take off in 2021.
Yeah, Madeleine is actually some kind of, in German we would call that Rampensau. Yeah, you can put Madeleine on a stage anytime, anywhere, and she will just deliver.
And deliver well.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So the thing is, the question that I just asked about the Inluminatis, I don't know if you already knew, but you already posted it as a marketing technique on your LinkedIn, right? You already got like 60 or 70 likes. And on that same day, my LinkedIn was blowing up, just like people contacting me. Normally, nobody contacts me over LinkedIn. Like, hey man, are you the guy with the podcast? It's like, what? How do you know what? So thanks for that. You're welcome. That was extremely successful. Just as an example, to say to people thinking that LinkedIn doesn't really bring you anything. On that day, I was like, "What? What's going on?" So good times. I was talking. You also mentioned Abir Haddad. So I was talking to Abir Haddad, not last week, some time ago, and we're also planning our next interview with her. And we were in a joint Zoom meeting led by Abir. And I was like, we're also interviewing Anna. And she's like, what, Anna? Anna who? Anna Muak? And I'm like, yeah, Anna Muak. She's like, what? And she loves you. She loves you. And then I asked her, and then you told me the story.
Yeah,
you told me the story about how you met. Maybe you could just share, just to show you, because this is a digitization podcast, how cool that story was. How did you guys meet?
Okay. No one, will ever believe that story. I don't do it by myself, to be honest, This was some kind of, I don't know, telepathic magic, In LinkedIn, we kind of told each other at the exact same moment, how cool and inspiring we think the other one is. We first thought this was a connection problem or something, but it wasn't, and. A few hours later, we had a 2-hour phone call, and that's how it started, And I really do love and appreciate Abir, and I think every woman on this planet needs her own Abir, Abir is a woman who doesn't listen to reply. She listens to understand, and I think that's kind of rare.
It is, definitely, and a completely valuable asset to have, especially in an area like law. So, why, talking about female leads, why is it so important that we have more female leads in an area like law? I know.
That's a pretty good question. Well. First of all, why should it not be important? Half of the world's population is female. It's just natural that we're at least represented in this proportion, everywhere. So, frankly, there isn't any area where it's not important to have more of us. That's all I have to say.
I fully agree. I have no follow-up questions. Here's a question, though, that we ask actually all of our guests so far. We get the wildest answers. Matteo, the guy that we interviewed last, said there's 2 things you cannot afford, and that's burnout and overhead. The question is, what message would you like to put out to the listeners that are thinking about founding a company or just founding something in general?
Okay. Let me think. The very first of all, would be clarify your W questions. And by W questions, I mean those simple things like who are you, what are you doing, why are you doing it, who's your target group, etc. Yeah, this sounds so simple, but it's hard work. Yeah, if you cannot explain to yourself in a simple way what the fuck you are actually doing, yeah, you will not be able to explain it to anyone else and to position yourself properly. And I think it's quite shocking that so many people cannot answer those. Yeah. And another thing would be trust yourself and your strange kind of gut feeling. You know, that feeling that you should be doing this or that you should be doing it in a certain kind of way. And never let that feeling down. Yeah, it leads you to places your mind would never reach. And trust yourself more, and trust yourself more to be creative. Yeah, and when you cannot imagine a job by now where you could put all your talents and interests in, then congratulations. Yeah, you're going to have an innovative one. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, but trusting yourself and sometimes trusting your gut feeling can also lead, of course, to failure, right? So
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that everyone has had their fair share of failure. So my question would be, what has been the biggest fail in your career so far? And of course, the opposite, the biggest success.
My biggest fail. Yeah. A lawyer would say, define what you mean by fail. Yeah. But whatever.
Right.
Yeah. I've failed so often according to my own kind of definition, yeah, that I cannot decide what is my biggest one of all. But every single time I failed was because I didn't trust myself enough, because I criticized myself more than anyone else could ever do, and because I'm struggling with imposter syndrome, etc. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But this all also leads to my biggest success, yeah. Especially because I always question myself, my skills, my attitude. I recognize when there is something that I do not question at all, and that I'm so sure about that no one could ever stop me from doing it. This was, for example, the focus on lawyers, the idea for legal laymen, etc. Yeah, if I have the feeling that something must be done, you can bet your ass that I'm going to rock the shit out of it.
Awesome, great, perfect. Talking about rock,
Yeah.
rap or rock music. Also a question that we ask everyone. How is it looking in that domain?
Okay. Both, yeah, both.
Both.
Honestly,
Wonderful.
I do love both, and I love 80s. Yeah, I love 80s. I love funk, almost everything. Yeah, the only thing I cannot handle at all is electro music and everything that sounds like a box full of metal trash falling on the floor. I don't know.
Then you can come to Cologne.
Yeah, no,
For some reason,
know.
people love electro music in Cologne.
I know.
Yeah. So how is it? You're from Würzburg, right?
Yeah.
Which is a city in southern Germany. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yes, Würzburg is.
Yeah.
Kind of okay. So how is it founding a company or a magazine in a city like Würzburg for a digital person like yourself? I mean, of course. It's not the city like Berlin. Let's say something. Do you think it's harder?
Yeah.
Do you think it was harder to found a city to found your magazine in a city like Würzburg than rather in, let's say, Berlin or Düsseldorf or Cologne? And how does digitization affect this?
Okay, so very good question. Yeah, founding in Würzburg wasn't that much fun in the beginning, to be honest. Especially when you're providing innovative services as I do. Yeah, I found myself feeling like an outlaw that got chased and attacked by those conservative lawyers. Yeah, you cannot do this, you cannot do that. Nobody will ever take you seriously if you show too much personality. There's no need for your services. Blah blah blah. Yeah, hell, guys. Yeah, you know, but I was lucky enough to find a network that encouraged me in the way I do things, yeah, and in the way legal layman does things. And by now, I almost work everywhere except in Würzburg, yeah. And digitalization, are you kidding me? Yeah, I feel like the internet hasn't even arrived in Würzburg, yeah. So, good question, yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing with the internet in Germany, right? Why doesn't it? Literally everything in Germany works. The people, they work. They're notorious for working. The washing machine that I inherited from my grandfather survived 2 world wars, still working like on day 1.
Yeah.
The internet, though, installed 3 months ago. Vodafone was like, "Oh, you have a Zoom meeting today, bro? I'm sorry, that's not gonna happen." So what's up with that?
Yeah,
The internet.
in the university in Würzburg, you actually have to get your grades for you have on exams. Yeah. You have to walk to this university.
Oh, wow.
And you have to say, "Hi, I'm Anna. I wrote the exam on this subject, and I would like to know my grade." And then they will hand you a paper, a fucking paper, yeah? And if you, with your grade and everything, and you need that paper because you have to hand it to get your your passing things and everything, yeah. And if you lose one of those dozens of papers, yeah.
No way.
You have to do it again, yeah. So this one, this is what I have to say to digitalization in Würzburg.
I by the way, I really like the fact that the legal layman is only digitally. For the moment, I don't know what you guys have planned for the future, but also the fact that all the people that you mentioned, that they approached you, right? That was only possible through all your marketing on Instagram when people like, judges like here, Christian Schlicht, Benedikt Quarch. Benedict, by the way, we're interviewing Benedict this Wednesday. I'm gonna be sure to give him your best regards.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was also a person that contacted me after your LinkedIn post. Yeah.
Really?
And I was like, yeah, exactly. That's exactly how we had this big snowball effect. Yeah, and I think those are the aspects of digitization that make our job easier, or at least more effective, right? Imagine trying to do something like Legal Layman 20 years ago. Would it even have been possible in that format? Probably not.
Never.
You know? Now yeah. Anna, thank you so much for taking the time today. And people, if you have the time, check out the webpage on, is it legallayman.com or legallayman.de?
Legallayman.de.
Right. And be also sure to check out Anna Moog's Instagram and TikTok, since you're on it now.
And TikTok, yeah. I have 2 followers, yeah. I have 2 followers.
2 followers. Let's make that a little bit more. Is there something else you would like to put out to the listeners, or in general? Want to say hi to your mom or something?
My mom would never listen to an English podcast. Yeah. I would like to tell everybody who listens to this episode that you can make an impact. Yeah, if you want, you don't have to be the best in something or have the smartest ideas. Yeah, you just have to do something. And if everybody would do that, we could make so much impact. And be nice to each other. Yeah, and Daniel, thanks for having me. Really, it was a pleasure. Yeah.
It was also a lot of fun for us.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And as you said, you already left us with that cliffhanger. We're really we're waiting to see what you guys have in store for us with the Legal Layman and with everything else. Anna, thank you. Have a great evening.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Prevents Podcast.